All right, so welcome everyone to Intuitive You at Oneness Talk Radio. I am so glad you're here, and today is a very special day. I know every day is special, but this is especially special to me because I get to have a guest who is a dear friend. She's been a previous client as well, but the value I have is just the friendship and the love and the way that this woman shows up in the world. And those of you that are on my email list, I just sent an email out about this of presence of love. And I feel like with all the changes in the world, inside your own personal life, globally, just our planet, everything, that it's so important to constantly tune in to that presence of love. And as we do, we open to our intuition. We open to that soul embodied part of us that's contributing, that's growing, and that's evolving. So I call this woman Jules because she reminds me something about the best friend's wedding, but she's just Jules in the sense that she's like full of love and this gift of this presence. And I wanted to bring her on because she's going to share her presence of love with you and just beautiful tips about how to stay tuned into your intuition, really support your body, really have that radiant optimal health. And she's been through so much in her life and wow, almost brings tears to my eyes and rose into that next level, right? She's taken that, I'm going to take the higher road. I'm going to be in integrity. I'm going to love and I'm going to forgive. So Jules, I could go on and on about you. So why don't you just introduce yourself to our audience and welcome to Intuitive You.
Thank you, Abby. I am so excited to be here with you today. We have been friends for quite some time. And, it's amazing how friends show up in your life at the perfect time. You need somebody there to help you get through those difficult times, to break through those barriers, to make changes and to move forward. But it's amazing through that time afterwards, how that just makes you that much closer and stronger of a friendship, but also reminds you, and you can have those tough conversations with them and say, what are you doing? Let me help you get back on track. Not because I have to, but because I want to. And I think that's a huge thing about not just a friendship, but what we should be doing in life. We should be walking with each other hand in hand and helping each other and doing it in a loving way. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what it comes down to, is having a relationship with others that honors them, but also keeps you in your integrity. And you have to put up your boundaries for that. So to learn that, that's a big part. And it's a big part of your health too, actually. And most people go, what are you talking about? I'm like, did you know mental health is how important for your overall health? It's very important. And there's 6 topics of health, actually, that we can talk about today. So I'm pretty excited. We're just going to let it flow because that's how Abby and I roll. We have no set plans of where this is going to go, because I find when you plan out something, it feels forced. But also on top of it, I feel that the best thing for all of us is to go with where we're led, not because we're told we have to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because then you're doing it out of love. You're not doing it because it's required or mandatory, or this is exactly what I have to say. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, we have to honor who we are as an individual, and you have to be comfortable with who you are. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's, again, part of our health. Mm-hmm. And you go, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, the reason why is because think about it. Everything we think about, everything we eat or drink, everything we come in contact with, the people we have around us, the environment we live in, not just the physical environment, also the emotional environment. All of this has to play into our health. So I should tell you, your listeners, a little bit about who I am, because they're probably going like, who is this lady?
They know I love you, so that's more than enough, but you can say whatever you want.
So I guess where we should go is a little bit about who I am, so you understand where I've come to be and how I got here, other than on this Zoom with Abby, because of course that's the highlight of the week.
Hey, Jules, can I just interject really quick before you tell more about you? I think you bring up such a beautiful point about unconditional love. And I feel like on my journey, it's been one I need to learn for myself. It's very either easy for me to do that for others. But like I told you right before we went live this morning, I was doing a meditation on unconditional love and just bringing in that energy. So I'm wondering if there's a way you can help people start to move into resonance with themselves by bringing in that unconditional love, right? Because even in our friendship, there's unconditional love. When you bring unconditional love into your business, into all of your relationships, you create harmony, right? And then things shift, right? So you can have that reflection of harmony. But I just feel like that's an important piece, if you wouldn't mind, just before we move forward, just to
Oh
kind
yeah, absolutely. But I think the best way I can describe it is unconditional love is part of our overall health for a big reason. When you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, if you don't like who you're looking at, how are you going to go out there and show love to someone else? But also think about how much animosity, unforgiveness, hatred, you're reflecting it yourself first. So if you're in that attitude where, and that's the first thing we do in the morning when we get up, at some point in our morning routine is we look in that mirror. And I'm not bashing anybody because I did it for years. I never thought I was beautiful. And not just on the outside, but also on the inside. I had to go through my journey to get to the point where I could get up in the morning and look in the mirror and not be ashamed of who I was. We all make mistakes. I prefer saying instead of mistakes, I like to call them missteps. The reason I call them missteps is because we had to go through that to get where we are. It's a part of our journey, but it doesn't dictate who we are as an individual. The only way you can give something to someone else is if you have it yourself. I always say to people, you know, when you're in a plane and that oxygen tube drops down, what do? You want to help the person next to you, don't you?
Totally.
But you can't. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be there to be able to take care of that person after that incident. You've got to get yourself in the right heart space. You got to get yourself in the right mindset. And you have to do this for you. And I know that sounds so selfish, but this is a part of your health. This is a part of who you are. You want to go out there and do great things, not even getting to your business, just the ones you love, like your family, and give more to them. Well, kind of got to get yourself in the right place of mind. And that starts with looking in that mirror and going, okay, what do I think about myself? And this is a really good exercise to do for yourself, actually. Take inventory. You've got to take inventory of where you're at. And whatever you do, whatever your higher power is, God, whatever that looks like for you, you need to get in touch with that. And I need to say, God, tell me what I need to work on next. Where am I at that I need your help? What am I willing to let go of? This baggage that I don't even need anymore. What am I going to do next? Because when you go with the flow, as you can kind of call it, but you let, in my book, the Lord lead me, my life goes so much better. Because I'm allowing that opportunity to be changed. I'm letting me be changed. And the reality is, we've all got baggage. We've all got missteps. But that doesn't define who I am, the love I have inside of me, and the person I am. Those were just missteps I did in the past. Because I was uneducated in that situation of my life. I was in a bad place in my life. I was acting out of emotions instead of logical decisions of how I treated someone else or I dealt with the situation, because I was being selfish, but not selfish in a good way. I was being selfish. Or I didn't understand what I was doing. There could be 5 million reasons why you behaved the way you did in the past, but that doesn't mean you beat yourself up for those missteps. Because I guarantee you that's what's stopping you from loving yourself. It's stopping you from loving others. But honestly, it's affecting your health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know, it's really interesting to me when we get on this topic, because our emotional health is so important, especially in this day and age. And there's tools you can use to help you with that. But it starts right here. We got to start at the heart. We got to start on the mental part. And it's not okay, I'm good, I'm done. And we don't ever get 100% there either in this lifetime. Just pre-warning everybody, we are all a working process. Every single one of us will be doing this until the day we die. And if anybody figures it out, you let me know. I don't know anybody yet that I have met, even people that are really smart and really good and got all these things down. They will even say, I still have my bad days. I still say the wrong things to my wife. I still do this. Yeah, this is one of my bad habits still. Nobody's perfect. As soon as you can get that in your little head and take the little perfection thing part out, that will help you with your health overall. Because you're holding on to this stuff that is toxic. And when it's toxic, guess what happens? It affects the rest of you. And it shouldn't affect you. It will, but I mean, we shouldn't let it affect us. Because here's the number one thing about mental health, emotional health. You are the only one in control of you. Isn't that revealing? Isn't that refreshing? So I always think when something comes up and my husband says something and I want to go, I got to take a deep breath and I got to think, okay, do I want to respond to this right now or not?
Hit the pause button.
And this is a great example of things we have all day long. Not just as women, men too. I'm talking both sides of the street there. The reality is our buttons get pushed. We have habits that we've created. You know, if you've been with your spouse for 5, 10, 20 years, I'm just going to use this as a great example. You guys have gotten into a pattern now. Kind of that same fight that comes up or that same disagreement that just can't seem to go away. Because there's a habit you two have created. So I challenge you when that comes up next time. You don't have to bite your tongue off, but I suggest you take 3 to 5 deep breaths and think about, do I want to engage in this? Does this take me out of my integrity? Is this going to be out of love? Because when you go back to those things, you will be amazed that 9 out of 10 times you're not going to respond anymore. It won't happen overnight. I'm going to be pre-warning. But this is just one thing. It's like when the kids start screaming, or your boss is just having a day. If you have a boss, I'm lucky I don't. You have those moments where you want to just kind of throttle the other person because they're just, you don't know how to deal with them, or they're at the end of your rope. Here's the thing. You're the only one that has control on how you respond. You're the only one that has control how you think, how you feel. Oh, and the response. 3 of them, sorry. But these are the things. If you can learn to do that, you can learn to live in love and peace. Because you're operating now out of love, not out of past missteps, after past arguments, after past little ticks that people do that just drive you bonkers. Life is way too short. And if you want to be inundated by life, you can do that. It's your life. But the reality is, it's going to affect you in every avenue of your life. So this is one of the most important parts of health, is learning how to manage your stress instead of stress managing you. And I'm going to say that again. Do you let stress manage you, or do you manage your stress? It was one of the most pivotal conversations I ever had. This was 9 years ago when I got diagnosed with my second, I like to call it my health crisis, my second health crisis. And I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease. And the doctor looked at me and said, do you let stress manage you, or do you manage your stress? And I go, ruh-roh. And it's true. And I say that honestly because, yeah, my stress was managing. I was managing a restaurant because I was a chef. I had 21 employees. I was about to get married. I was taking on 4 stepchildren. I had moved here from New York 2 years earlier. Still was getting used to living in Oregon from New York. That's another story in itself. But the thing is that I was stressed to the max. But what I learned is that I was allowing it to stress me out. Everything that came my way, I was emotionally reacting. I had to take the time to realize that I was in control of how I responded. I had to change the way I thought about things. I had to change my attitude. I had to change my actions. And sometimes I just had to look at the other person and take a deep breath and go, I need to walk away right now. So I could process it and come back and say, you know how that was handled? When you say that to me, it's really hurtful. Could we kind of have a conversation about this? And the person looks at me like, what just happened? The old you would have exploded instantly. Blah! And I didn't. Because I took that back. See, that's why when everybody says this person does this and they stress me out so bad, you don't have to participate in their pity party. It's not your job. So what if I told you that it's not your job to fix everybody? Do you ever remember that? I know this, a lot of times people will say this, they'll go, when you marry someone, just remember you're not going to be able to change them. Especially to women more than men. But it's really true. Here's the deal. It's not your job. It is not your job to fix all the stray dogs. It's not your job to worry about others. You know what your job is? It is to honor you as who you are. And to love that other person enough that if they want your help, to help them. But don't force it down their throat. And don't expect that they should do it the way you do it. You know, my sister and I have always had this one little tete-a-tete. I'm just being honest here. And the reason why is because she thinks, you know, when you get up in the morning, you put both your feet through your pants and pull them on. And I'm the one that puts one leg in and then the next leg in. And I'm just using this as an analogy. The reason why is because we can do the same thing, but we do it polarly opposite. Does it mean it's wrong? No. But guess what? You have to honor what that other person does as well as they need to honor what you do. And it should never be a fight. My husband and I don't yell and scream at each other at all. I have a rule that if I get pissed off, I just look at him and go, I need some time. And he goes, uh-oh, okay. And I calm down and I come back and I go, okay, so how you handled that really hurt me because of this. And he will then say, I'm really sorry. Or he'll do something and he'll be like, and he'll get irritated and I'll be like, I need some time. Okay. He'll come back and goes, Jules, when you say that to me, that really hurts. And I go, sorry, honey. What can we do now to move forward that the two of us don't do this to each other? See, that is how we deal with conflict. But people don't want to deal with conflict because it's uncomfortable. But fighting is even more uncomfortable. It's better to have the tough conversations than to have this giant elephant in the room that's creating so much hurt, animosity, and those things go deeper and deeper the longer you're in them. It's not like you cover them over and magically that wound goes away. No, it's like putting a Band-Aid on a giant gash and wondering why it never heals because you haven't dealt with the problem. This is where it comes into play that we have to be aware, especially in the time we are in our society. We have to be better for our own selves with our health, mentally and emotionally. And if we don't do that, you can look back, because I can look at the patterns and the times when I was doing it out of the emotions and not thinking it through, not taking that moment to breathe and go, oh boy, okay, how do I want to respond? And I will tell you, it won't mean that you won't have anxiety or something, but what it will do is it'll let you get through the situation better. It will let you feel okay about it. It will let you not feel emotionally out of control and stressed out to the point where you can't function or sleep. Do you know that's number one reason why people don't sleep?
Because conflict?
Emotions. So you can't turn your brain off if that's you, or you're stressed out about something and you can't sleep. Those are the number one reasons why we don't sleep. Because our body can't relax. So we look at it and go, oh my gosh, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I can't function. Well, of course you can't. When you're getting that much sleep, it's like being drunk all the time. Literally, I'm not joking. Same with dehydration. If you're dehydrated, it can make you tired and dizzy and not think clearly. These are the things of our health that we have to do for ourselves. And everybody goes, well, yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead. No. You should be getting between 7 to 9 hours every single night. And if you're not, that will help affect everything else you're doing. If you are not sleeping, your body needs that time to process, to regenerate, to renew. And if you're not doing it, it affects your cognitive effects. If you're trying to lose weight, forget it. That's out the window because you ain't doing anything to help that because your body is not getting what it needs to function correctly. It's all connected. You can't do one and say, okay, I ate a salad today. I did good. But I'm stressed out. I haven't slept. I'm drinking too much alcohol. I haven't drank any water. I'm addicted to caffeine. Yeah, I took a walk around the block, which was like, 2 minutes long. I did great. No. Now, I'm saying in a perfect world, we would all be able to do everything perfectly, and we're not. But it's really important when we look at this, our overall health, we go, okay, what are the steps I need to take to get there? And this is where it comes in that we've got to say, what do I do? So you heard me mention I had 2 health crises. When I was 21, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, and so I'm gluten intolerant. And as a pastry chef at the time, that was a bit heartbreaking. Just got out of pastry school and can't work with anything went to school for. That was lovely. But what ended up happening is that I made a major lifestyle change. Do you think going gluten-free was an overnight, got it down pat? It took me a year to understand what I could and couldn't have. It took me a year to plow through the things that were available. It took me a year to go through and find something in the house that was, oh, wait, yeah, that still has gluten in it. Crap. Anytime you do any type of change where it's a major habit in your life, it's going to take time. So if you don't get it right the first time, again, misstep. It's okay. You've got to give yourself grace in the process of becoming healthier. So if you're not sleeping much, or you're not drinking much water, you go, well, how do I get better at that? Well, take it one step at a time. One step, okay? Well, I don't drink any water, so why don't we just start with 1 bottle? That's it. Because if I told you to go drink half your ounces, so whatever your weight is, divide it in half, that's how many ounces a day of water you should be drinking as a minimum, just as a starting basis. The best way of knowing it is when you go to the bathroom, you want to make sure your urine is light yellow to clear. That's how you know you're not dehydrated. But it's easiest for people to do it by ounces. The other thing is, somebody wants to lose weight. I have the best tip for you ever. Before you eat something, drink some water. You know why? Your body cannot distinguish the difference of being hungry or thirsty. And we tend to overeat because we're dehydrated and we don't know it. So what do? We grab something to fill us up, but we still don't feel full. We grab something else, we still don't feel full. Honestly, it's because you're dehydrated. And your stomach can't tell you, I want water, I want food. It just tells you, I need something. So if you were to start drinking more water, you'd reach that goal faster because it would reduce the calories you're eating every day. There's so many things I could tell you. I know we only have a little bit time left. So what I want to do is I do want to say this. When I was diagnosed now, 18 years ago with celiac disease, it was not common. It was not something that was a trend. But that forced me to have to make lifestyle changes at a young age and at a certain point. And I thought I was doing really well. Honestly, I thought I was really healthy. And then when I turned 30 and got diagnosed with the Meniere's disease, again, I was like, I live such a healthy lifestyle. What are you talking about? And all of a sudden, I'm looking at what I'm doing. And I realized, in my terms, I was healthy. What I was eating was healthy. But the reality is you can look a certain way on the outside and be totally different on the inside. You can't see what's going on inside of you and we don't necessarily feel it like a chain breaking in our health. And the reason why is because it's little things we do. Do you know it takes your physiology, your body, 1 year to completely regenerate all the cells in it? So what you do today will affect you for 1 year later. So if you're making healthy choices today or naughty choices today, it's going to affect you up to 1 year later. And people go, what? I just went to Taco Bell, and I'm going, I love it when people sit down with me and they tell me what they're eating. And I go, okay, well, that's all the good stuff. Why don't you tell me the naughty stuff you're actually eating? Because if you want to lose 250 pounds, we've got to have a conversation about where you're at, because there's something missing. Got to be honest. Something's missing. And then the truth comes out of all the naughty stuff they eat. And I go, uh-huh. And they go, well, and I go, I can't help you if you don't tell me all the good and the bad. Because here's the reality is, there's no judgment. I've done it already. I was drinking a bottle of wine a night. I was drinking a pot of coffee a day. And I thought it was healthy. Red wine's good for you. A little more is okay too. Okay? Now, yes, a glass of red wine is fine, but not a whole bottle. What it was is that I had to walk through those things myself. And that's why now I'm able to help the people I am able to help. Because I've had depression. I don't have it anymore. I've eaten the crappy food and I've eaten the healthy food. And I will tell you, people look at me and they go, how old are you again? And I go, I'm 39. And they go, no, you're not. I love it best because Oregon is really strict with this. They'll check your ID. And I'm like, yes, please, yes, yes, yes. And they look at my ID and they're like, seriously? I'm like, seriously? And what's really funny is when I have my grandchildren. Yes, I have grandchildren. Sounds crazy, but I have 4 of them. And I have one of them with me, and somebody will be like, oh my gosh, your daughter, your son is so cute. No, this Nona. I'm Nona. I'm not Mama. And they look at me and they're like, what we do on the inside impacts more on the outside, as well as on the inside. But you can tell the difference of somebody that's healthy by the way their hair looks, by the way their skin looks. They have a glow about them. It's their lifestyle. And when we say lifestyle, diet plays a major, major part in that, but it's not the only part. So you have to have lots of tools in your toolbox. And I have found over the years what works for me, but I'm always willing to add more in there if it's going to enhance what I'm already doing. So I have found what we have to do is add little things in here. So, working out a certain amount of time a week. And if you're not working out at all, don't get me wrong, that's my hardest thing. And I'm now really working good on that. And I've got a good flow going. But that was always my missing link. I always dropped the ball with that because I always had so many other things to do. But that was not honoring me. So I decided no more excuses. I'm forcing myself to do this 5 days a week. Okay, some weeks I do 4, I'm going to be honest. But it's taken me a long time to be able to get there. You know why? Because to me, there was a block. To me, I always had an excuse of something else I could be doing than working out. But when I get done working out, I feel amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't I do this every day? Again, I wasn't ready to change that habit. Now I am. So you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do and what you're not willing to do? There's some stuff that's real simple, real easy that you can do today. And there's other stuff that you might take a little time doing. I partnered with a company 8.5 years ago because their products resonated with me. They gave me an opportunity that I could help others get healthy by just eating simple things, simple fruits and vegetables, because reality is we need to be eating, just listen to the number, 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables every day. And a serving size is the size of your fist. That was huge for me because I thought I ate really, really well. Well, a good day is 5 for me, maybe 6. And that's a lot. And the reality is that this bridged the gap of what I needed in my lifestyle to help me have a solid foundation for my nutrition. I take this every day without fail. In 8.5 years, I've not missed a day. I love it. It helps me stay my immune system strong. And I used to, because of celiacs, always be sick, always sick. I always had a head cold, didn't feel good, was tired. And it was like within 1 year, my energy, I had sustained energy, didn't have that afternoon slump. I got off 5 prescription drugs. I started sleeping through the night. My digestive system started working normal. What an idea. And I didn't get sick. And I was like, okay, awesome. So that's why I partnered with this company, and I still do to this day. But I also am on the mission of helping people get healthier in many areas, because you can't be healthy in just one area. And this is just one part of what we need to be doing, is eating more fruits and vegetables, but it's really hard, and they've made it convenient. So I do that, and I still eat healthy. Abby knows this. I travel all over the place. I have a flexible schedule, which is awesome because of this business. And I get to go wherever. My son's in Florida. He's in the Air Force. And I'm going to go down there shortly to go see my 2 grandbabies with my husband. I have a flexible schedule. My father and my mother live in New York. I can still go and see them. I love that for the simple fact that I can go when I want. But the thing is, I can take this stuff with me wherever I go. And it makes it convenient and simple. So it just adds into what I already do. But the reality is, how many of you eat 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and veggies every day? And I ain't saying just your apples and your lettuce, because here's the reality is all the different colors have different nutrients. So if you don't have one, you can't just stay in one section. The old additive of the doctor saying apple a day keeps the doctor away, an apple has over 10,000 different plant nutrients in it. And they haven't even named all of them yet. And they don't even know 100% what all of them do yet. But they know synergistically when you eat that apple, it's going to be taken into our gut, because our gut is what basically metabolizes everything. And then whatever we put into our gut sends it out to the whole rest of our body. It's what our digestive system does. It's a brilliant, brilliant system. But here's the thing. It's like a car. And I'm going to use this as a great analogy for you guys. What do you have to do for your car to run correctly? You have to give it good quality oil. The oil needs to be changed regularly too, right? It needs a tune-up. And you have to put fuel in it. Well, here's the deal. Your fruits and vegetables is your oil for your engine. If you do not have your fruits and vegetables, your engine's not going to run correctly. But your fuel is your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. And you need those, which we call macronutrients, but I don't want to get too technical today. Those your body needs to have the energy to keep going. If you don't have a balance of them in your body, things will start breaking down. You notice if you don't have any fuel, your car doesn't run. But if you don't have any oil, your engine blows up. You need these things to function in your daily life and to be put into your body for your body to function correctly. But what is the one thing we always say? I'm too busy. I got to go in this direction. I have this. Oh, I don't like to eat this. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's always an excuse. And here's the number one thing you're going to learn with me. You can give excuses because I've given them too, but excuses get you nowhere because you're not honoring yourself and you're not loving yourself when you give excuses because you can't say the word no or you're not willing to make a change. And I'm just being honest. I'm being really from my heart on this because I was that person that made an excuse. Oh, I'll work out next week. I'll have a salad for dinner and then have a burger instead. Oh, I'll get another glass of water shortly. Another cup of coffee. You know, that was what was happening. And I started realizing that the only person that was in control of who was me. And so with me, I had to get into that habit of knowing that I wasn't honoring myself. So there's a lot of things we can talk about. I have a great program. I'm just starting. It's actually starting today. I'm so excited. And it's a 5 weeks challenge. And what we do is we give you recipes to make that are healthy. We give you workouts according to your level, if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. We also give you nutritional products to take with it. We give you things to do that will help you be overall healthier. And we're going to put you in a community of people to do that. And so these are the things that I do to help people because nothing is cookie cutter. You know, you can't just say, okay, here's one thing and it fits the bill for everybody. Because guess what? We're all different. And none of us are going to do things the identical way. And when you can accept that for yourself and for others, there's an amazing amount of peace in it. And then you can be living out of your love for yourself as well as then giving love to others. You know, you got to fix the broken part of you and it starts from the inside. And that's what we eat, but it's also what we fill ourselves up with here and here. It's all connected. You can't do one without the other. And everybody will say, well, I'm doing this. I'm really good here. That's great. Are you willing to take one more step with something else that's going to get you that much closer to who you want to be and where you want to be?
I love that. I love that you offer this just really health coaching opportunity. And I would love for you to share maybe your email where people could reach out personally with you just for health coaching and then see, you know, do you want to join this program? Do you want to work one-on-one? Just to really get that overall health perspective first, you know, just having that consultation with you. So would you like to share a way people can contact, like the best email address for you?
Absolutely. So it's Juliana, JULIANNA, period, health@gmail.com. And that's the best way to reach me. And I can help you figure out what is the next step for you because some people go, I just want to do one thing. And some people go, I want a complete transformation. I need to get weight off. I need to have more energy. I'm on 10 prescription drugs. I mean, I had one customer that came to me. I am not joking. This lady came to me. She was on 22 prescription drugs when we started. We are down to 5.
Wow, amazing.
I had another lady who is a type 2 diabetic, we've been able to lower her insulin by 8 units. It did not happen overnight. It was one whole year of her doing stuff, and we were able to. And that's the other misconception I want to tell you, Abby, and I want to tell all your listeners, is that people assume because you do something good today that you're going to feel it tomorrow. And that is a really big misconception. We live in a time where everybody wants things quicker, easier, faster. Health is not something that we do today and automatically feel better. Do you eat a salad and automatically feel amazing, like you could jump over a building like Superman?
Sometimes I feel pretty good after I eat a salad.
But you feel you feel like, oh my gosh, everything's perfectly healthy. I didn't feel the Meniere's coming on. And then all of a sudden, after it had been going on for years, it got to a point where it was so intense that I was like, something is seriously wrong here. It wasn't a overnight click. It was a progression. And that's kind of what it is with our health going bad or going good. So we're born with certain genes that, we don't get away from that. So I'll tell you my family genes is, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancers, autoimmune diseases, and thyroid issues. I have Hashimoto's. But my doctor was amazed with my Hashimoto's when I came in to do the blood work. And she did it. And she goes, and I do a panel because of my family history. And 3 years ago, I was finally diagnosed with the Hashimoto's, which I knew I probably had underlining for years, but they never caught it because the numbers never were correct. And when she finally said it to me, she goes, but you don't have the crash. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, anybody that has Hashimoto's has a crash. And I know this because my sister, when she was diagnosed with it, put on 60 pounds in less than 4 months. And that's what normally triggers people to go, something's wrong. I didn't have that. I just noticed I was a little more tired in the morning. And so I went to her and I said, so what's going on? Why didn't I have the crash? And she looked at me and she goes, honestly, Juliana, you're one of my healthiest patients. She goes, you only come in for your annual. Other than that, I don't ever see you. It's all about how we do the decisions we do today. They affect everything else. So I didn't have the giant crash. I didn't have the weight gain. I didn't have the severe energy loss where I couldn't function. I didn't have all these things that most people have with Hashimoto's. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, but you live a healthy lifestyle and you still had the Hashimoto's. Newsflash, people, nothing is 100%. I can't guarantee anybody by living a healthier lifestyle that you're not going to get cancer. But I can guarantee this. If you do get it, you're going to go through it a lot better by living a healthier lifestyle. I can guarantee there's a lot of other things that might come up in your health that you will stop, because the research has been there for years that if you do certain things, you can turn off the bad genes and turn on the good genes by eating healthier, drinking water, exercising, getting the proper amount of sleep, dealing with our mental health and emotional health. These things have all been proven. Removing toxins from your home, that's a big one. So if you're using chemical cleaners and things with chemicals in them, that will affect your health too. We have to look at the big picture, but the problem is that takes change, and change is hard. So that's why I always say to people, I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to find out where you're at and then see what you want to do first, what you're willing to do. Because not everybody's on the same place, and not everybody has the same concerns or issues, and it's got to fit you. So I come up with plans for people that fits them. Not everybody's going to have the same plan. It can't. I don't have the same plan as 99% of my customers. I do things a little different because I'm like, yeah, can't do that. And it's okay. But you got to find what works for you and keep building on that with more healthy habits throughout it.
Absolutely. Well, I usually like to have time for callers to call in. So I'll just say the phone number. If you have any questions for either Juliana or I, you can call 858-692-4555. Again, that's 858-692-4555. And we have about 8 minutes maybe left. So make sure you call in right away if you want to ask a question for either of us. Juliana, what's the main tip you feel you can offer audience from coming from their intuition, right? From their inner core, intuitively being healthy and following their intuition to greater health. Is there anything you want to share about that?
When it comes to doing things from your intuition, what I always say to people is you have to find something that resonates with you. You have to find the things. So where's the hurt the worst? And I know that sounds crazy. Most people go, huh? But where's the pain the most? Are you overeating? Are you upset with yourself? Are you angry at someone? Are you sick? Are you going through a health crisis? Are you wanting to lose weight? What is the pain that's the worst? The reason I say that is because that is what is affecting you from changing healthy habits. You have a hurt there. And when you have hurt, pain, unforgiveness, whatever, you can't change who you are and where you're at. The reason why is because you're focusing on the hurt. So intuitively, if you know, this is the place I need to work on. And that's where I say you have to find out what is the next step you are willing to take. And this is in all avenues, but it doesn't have to be all avenues. It can be one thing. And you will be amazed when you start working on that one spot, you will be able to move forward. So if you say, when I was younger, somebody said to me, you're fat, and that has stuck with you for years. That's a hurt intuitively that you know is there. And so then you do things that self-sabotage you. So intuitively, if you go in and go, okay, Lord, higher power, whatever, I know this is a pain. I know this is something that's hurting me. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I don't want to look this way. And I don't want to behave this way anymore. Why do I behave this way? Why am I experiencing this? And you can start unraveling that. And what will happen is all of a sudden, you'll be able to go, okay, let's work on it. And now you can start letting that block that's been there for so long, you can lay it down and start moving forward. And I just use that as one example, but intuitively, we know what our blocks are. We know the things that are hurting us. But if we hold on to them like little worry stones, it never allows us to advance. It never allows us to reach our full potential. Because now we are focused on the pain. So when you can heal that, then everything else starts falling into place. And intuitively, you know that. You know the things that are holding us back. None of us need to tell you what is the problem. We all know what the problem is because we have it up here all day long in a little, movie going over and over in our head. We just have to bring it forward and deal with it. And when you deal with it, as Abby and I know, you're able to move forward. You're able to be you, step into you, be in the love of who you are. And now you don't have to question it. You can just do it.
And I think you heal everything with love, right? And that's why, we talked about unconditional love at the beginning of the show. It's really going into your heart, dropping into your gut energetically, right? Emotionally connecting to that energy of unconditional love through you. I call it life force energy a lot. It's love, right? You can call it God, the universe. It's the part that connects us to each other through that power. And it is the greatest power. I believe it can transform physical and emotional things. And I love that you bring the overall health, right? Because it's like, our brains literally send chemicals to the rest of our bodies with a thought, of like how to feel and our perception. That's why I love going to other countries, because it's always so humbling, eye-opening, compassion just flooding out of me when I see differently. I see different cultures. I hear different languages. I mean, it's just to actually have that perspective. I mean, I went to my girlfriend's house the other day, and instead of being close to the water, again, they had the ocean view, and it was a different perspective. I'm like, hey, to look at it from this place, I can see my life different, and it's like sometimes we need that different vantage point. But if you look from the perspective of your soul, your heart, your knowing, you're going to be guided, and you will have the support, just like we're supporting you here today. You can reach out to Juliana. Of course, you can reach out to me at abby@lifeforceconnection.com. You guys probably have my email, to support you. And like she said, walk hand in hand, because we are in this together. And so I think, my work, your work, I do think it is about deeper love, more compassion, and being in that one heart. And I love what you said, like, that person puts on their, your sister does it like at the same time, you do it one and then the other. Not a judgment of that's right or wrong. It's just, oh, that's a difference. Okay. Like, no need to fight about it. Cool. You do you, I do me. Like, if it works, great. If not, whatever. Like, I'll hold somebody else's hand, right? So it's kind of like being in that flow of there's always a greater expansion of love, right? And so, you've been able to transform certain things into a healthy version of you now. And so it's like that is radiant health, and that is intuition in action. So I'm just grateful for you showing up today, sharing your story. I really recommend you reaching out to Juliana, even if it's just to connect for a little. Like, she will guide you. And like I said, her love, I mean, I know for me, it's just like, oh, I can relax because you're held in love. So just to open up and give that gift to yourself, I invite you to do that. And of course, next week we will be here at 9 a.m. Pacific. Juliana, if you want to share your email one more time before we log off, we'll do that. And then just maybe one parting word of wisdom for everybody.
So it's juliana.health@gmail.com. And I look forward to talking to many of you and helping you. A word of wisdom. Okay. Basically, you are what you eat. So think about it. If what you're going to eat next, is it going to nourish you? Is it going to sustain you? Is it going to help you to be the person you want to be?
I love it. And if it's not, don't do it. And if it is, go for it. We gotta get off because there's going to be somebody else in a few seconds getting on their next show. So enjoy yourself. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And we will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.